you're assuming cash is over.
Cash already is also being heavily surveilled. So your banknote has a serial number. So if you actually think about something like Tornado Cash or all of there's a lot of applications that, for example, utilize Archium to also bring this level of privacy, right? If you think about all of these systems, they are, in my mind personally, as long as you have an internet connection. If you don't have an internet connection, maybe you cannot spend your money right now. But as long as that exists, even superior to cash, because you don't have any serial numbers anymore, right?
Wait, so you say cash is being surveilled?
Sure. When I go to the ATM and withdraw money, the serial numbers are recorded in some database, and when a merchant at Walmart, I guess, or wherever, puts that into their cash registry, you can also record those serial numbers. So,
is that true?
Yeah, there has been. I read an article a few months ago about a tracking system like that within Europe. So that is very practical, and yeah.
I'm going to take a magic marker, a pen, and distort the serial numbers in all my cash now.
Yeah, right. So it should still be legal tender, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of that.
There could be other tracking mechanisms. I don't know, but I've read about this technology, which clearly exists and is being used to even turn the cash system into a surveillance system. And it's not even, again, I think all of this is not even just someone with governmental authority deciding to surveil people, right? It is also companies seeing economical value in surveilling you, and then utilizing this new technology, utilizing the internet to do that. And it boils down to power, I would say, control, right? If you have access to as much information as possible, you can better prepare for the future, and you can predict behaviors of your users or different actors. And so that's why those systems get implemented. So we are on this fork in the path towards the future. And what the people that are architecting those central bank digital currency systems have realized, and that's so interesting to me, is this old concept that the cypherpunks in the 1990s came up with, which is code is law, which expresses what has happened with Tornado Cash, I think, nicely, where it is the ultimate law, sort of, when you have this network that nobody controls and there's some piece of software and it just executes. Whatever is written within that software code executes. There's no way of stopping it. There's no way of doing anything about it. And so that's what I mean when I say code is law. And the architects of those alternative systems have realized that there's so much power in being able to, let's say, take your chat messages and see that you have said something against Big Brother, and Big Brother doesn't appreciate that, right? And so automatically now your money is frozen. And that is code is law, right? In the utopian sense and in the dystopian sense, where software automatically can lock you out of all of those systems. And I would much rather have a utopian future than a dystopian future. But at the end of the day, from a technological standpoint, those things are similar. The only difference really is cryptography.
Privacy. Because you're offering that on a scale even larger than anything Tornado Cash or Roman Storm attempted, it has to have occurred to you that whether or not you have prominent investors, like, you face some risk.
Sure. So I think what I'm doing with Archium at the end of the day is I'm providing the most versatile and superior form you can execute a computer program, right? Within encryption, you can execute a computer program, and you can have many people contribute encrypted data, and you can do all sorts of things. You can do things starting with financial transfers, right? You can add privacy to financial systems. But that doesn't just mean we are adding privacy to me and you, Tucker, interacting with each other. We can also add privacy to entire markets, right? Which again can also have downsides. I'm not arguing that there's only upsides with this technology. There might be actors that then utilize that, not just talking about criminal activity, but just unethical activity, right? The way that people maybe interact. So at its core, it is neutral technology. But the use cases that I'm really focused on enabling also are use cases like enabling within the healthcare system to actually utilize data that currently is being stored, but it is being stored in a very inefficient way where it's isolated, right? So with my technology, we can take this data and use it without ever risking that data to be exploited, without ever taking ownership of your data, because you're the patient, you're the human, right? I have no right to take ownership over that. And I don't need with that technology, because you can consent and say, let's improve healthcare or whatever with my data, but you're not getting my data because it's encrypted, right? This is, I don't know, it's a crazy concept to wrap your head around. I get it, but it enables so much also on a national security level that it is strictly superior technology. And I think this example that I told you earlier about verifiability, right? Mathematically being able to be convinced that a computer program, a computation that has been executed in privacy, right, has been executed correctly is such an amazing concept. And the way I think about it really is opening up a new design space altogether and allowing companies to do actual innovation instead of innovating only on the front of how can I extract as much value as possible from my user by surveilling them. So I don't really think about it the way that you framed it. I'm building this generalized computing platform that can be used by anyone because I don't have any control over it, right? I'm not building a controlled infrastructure. I'm building open software that is used for good.
And I'm grateful that you are. And I don't at all mean to make you pessimistic or paranoid, but in so doing, you're threatening current stakeholders.
Sure, but I think that's always the case with new technology, right?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, when cars first came along, right, there were unions of horse carriage taxi ride providers that did not want to see cars on the road.
Of course.
So there's always interests that try to utilize both technology and law to prevent others from getting
keep
into
the current
position.
monopoly in place.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
The stakes depend entirely on how disruptive the new technology is.
Yes.
Ask Nikolai Tesla.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, dark. But so it's not a concern.
It is not a concern for me, no.
I wonder if that's just a quirk of your personality where you're just not afraid of stuff.
That's actually an issue I would say I sort of suffer from sometimes, not being afraid of things, but
good.
I think
you need that in order to proceed. It's been a lot of noise in the news recently, but none of it matters if you can't hear it. There's no shame in this. Millions of people get deafer every year. Some we know well. But your friends, our friends at Audien can help. For years, the experts made hearing aids cost thousands of dollars. They forced you to get a prescription, see a doctor, jump through all these hoops just to hear your grandkids talk or have a conversation in a restaurant. Why? Because they made money. That's why. Over 460 million people worldwide have hearing loss, yet 80% do not have hearing aids, because who'd want to deal with that? So it's a crisis and it's being ignored, and that's why Audien is the answer. It offers FDA-compliant hearing aids for as low as $98. No prescription, no doctor's visit. Over 1.5 million Americans already using them to regain clarity in their lives, to regain hearing. You can find them at nearly 10,000 retailers nationwide, including Walmart and Walgreens. Audien's doing what the system should have done all along, making essential healthcare affordable for everyone. Go to heartucker.com. That's HEAR Tucker.com, or call 1-800-453-2916 to learn more about how Audien can help you or someone you love hear better. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.